All right, so starting with number 47. So again, we have our systems of equations. So 2 variables, 2 equations. What can I do here? Do you want to solve with substitution or elimination? Substitution. I already have y equals, so I can just take what y is equal to and substitute it into the other y. So I have 2/5 x plus 4 is equal to negative 2x minus 8. And then from here, we just want to solve. So we want to get all of our variables to one side, all of the numbers, the constants, to the other side. So I can subtract 4 on both sides. And then I'm going to add 2x to move that to the left. So this is going to be equal to negative 12. And I just need to add 2/5 x plus 2. So it's 2/5 plus 2. I can say it's 2 over 1. I need a common denominator if I'm going to add fractions. So I can make this 10 over 5. So it would be 12 over 5. So 12 over 5x. Now what can I do to solve for x? I can divide by 12/5 or multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm multiplying by 5 over 12. So multiply by 5 over 12. So x is equal to, the 12s actually cancel. So this would be negative 5 over 1, or just negative 5. So which answer choice says that x is negative 5? D. We can plug it into x just to be super sure. So I would take negative 5. Definitely plug it into the first one, way you don't have to deal with fractions. So if y is equal to negative 2 times negative 5 minus 8. So y is equal to 10 minus 8. So that means y would be 2, which just confirms that D is the right answer choice. So once you find x, you want to plug it in to find your y. Or if you find y first, plug it in to find the other variable. Any questions here? All right, let's look at 8. Since we solved the last one with substitution, let's do this one with elimination. So if I'm going to solve with elimination, I need the same coefficient for my variable, but opposites. So I can cancel the y's, but I have a 2y here, so I can make this a negative 2y. I can multiply everything in my second equation by 2. So I can make this negative 14x minus 2y is equal to negative 18. So I just multiplied everything here times 2. Now we can combine our 2 equations. So I'm just going to add these together. Bless you. Negative 2x plus or minus 14x would be negative 16x. The y's cancel. This would be equal to 2 minus 18 would be negative 16. Then we're just solving for x, so divide both sides by negative 16. So what does x equal? 1. Perfect. If x is 1, how can I find y? Plugging it back in. I'm going to plug it into x. So if negative 2 times 1 plus 2y is equal to 2. This would be negative 2 plus 2y is equal to 2. Add 2 to both sides. So 2y is equal to 4. Then last step, divide both sides by 2, so y is equal to 2. So my answer is 1, 2, which would be answer choice D. All right, let's look at 49. What should I do first for 49? Plug in the y. So it says y is equal to negative 2. That one's already solved for me. I know what y is. So I'm going to plug that into the y. So I have 6x plus 3 times negative 2 is equal to 6. 6x minus 6 is equal to 6. I would add 6 to both sides. So 6x is equal to 12. And then divide both sides by 6. So x is equal to 2. So x is 2, and what is y? Negative 2. That was given. So my answer choice would be D. All right, let's go to the next page. So for 52 and 53, we have to write an equation of the line and interpret the slope. So an equation of a line can be in y equals mx plus b form. But I need to know the m and I need to know the b. So m would be my slope. B is my y-intercept. How could I find the slope here? So I have a formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or we could just use rise over run. So we could count. I'm going to use the formula just for practice. So I just want to pick 2 points. I can pick 0, 0 here. And I'll pick the one that's given, so 2, 18. So this is my x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug everything in, so it'd be 18 minus 0 over 2 minus 0. 18 over 2 would be 9. So my slope is 9. What is my b? What's my y-intercept? Where does my graph cross the y-axis? 0 right here. So my b would be 0. So my equation of a line would be y equals m, which is 9, x plus 0. Do I put the plus 0? Nope. So it'd just be y is equal to 9x. Last thing we want to do is interpret the slope. So we're talking about watts used in time, in hours. So if this is like 9 over 1, what could I say about the slope? So it's watts per hour. So interpreting the slope would be the electrical usage of light. So light uses 9 watts per hour. (54) and 55 are the same. Just keep with your y equals mx plus b, plug it in. Let's look at 56. So 56, we have system of equations, 3 equations, 3 variables. So when we solve these, we always want to pick one variable first to cancel out. It would help to pick one that has the same coefficient already. So I think the best one to use here would be the x's. And then we just want to pick 2 equations at a time. Which 2 do you want to pick first? The first and the last? Okay, we can do 2 and 3. We have to do this twice, so we're going to have to pick 2 different pairs. But 3x plus 2y minus 3z is equal to negative 2. And then negative 3x plus z is equal to negative 2. I'm going to add these together. My x's cancel. I'm left with 2y minus 2z is equal to negative 4. So now I have an equation with 2 variables. I have to do that step twice. So we have to pick 2 other equations. Which 2 should I pick next? 1 and 3. Perfect. Because 1 and 3, the x's are going to cancel without even multiplying anything. So I have 3x minus 3y plus z is equal to 10. negative 3x plus z is equal to negative 2. So the x's cancel. Negative 3y plus 2z is equal to 8. Now that I have two equations with two variables, I want to combine these two together. So 2y minus 2z is equal to negative 4, and negative 3y plus 2z is equal to 8. Do I have a variable that'll cancel here? The z's. So the z's cancel. So I'm just going to combine everything. I have negative y is equal to 4. Divide both sides by negative 1, so y is equal to negative 4. So that's one answer. Now once we have 1, we just need to work backwards to find the rest. So I'm going to take y, plug it into one of my equations with two variables. So I have 2 times negative 4 minus 2z is equal to negative 4. So this would be negative 8 minus 2z is equal to negative 4. Add 8 to both sides. Negative 2z is equal to 4. Divide both sides by negative 2. So z is equal to negative 2. So that's another answer. Now we want to plug it back into the original. So I'm going to take z and plug it into the z in the third equation. Sometimes you may have to take y and z and plug it back in, but in the third equation, I don't have a y, so I'm just going to plug in z. So negative 3x minus 2 is equal to negative 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So negative 3x is equal to 0. Divide both sides by negative 3. What's 0 divided by negative 3? 0. So x is equal to 0. So we always write our answer in alphabetical order. So x, y, then z, 0, negative 4, negative 2. So 59, we are describing the transformation and graphing. What happens when I subtract 6 on the inside? If I subtract 6 on the inside, which direction am I going? To the right. So we're moving to the right 6. So it's not A, because that says we're going down. C says we're going up, so not C. B says left. D is right. So we're going to the right 6. So all we have to do is identify our transformation. You could also just know that our vertex here, because it's in vertex form, would be 6, 0. So that would go to the right 6, stay at 0 for the vertex. So a couple different ways you could think about this when solving. Just make sure you know your transformations and how to find the vertex when it's in vertex form. Let's look at 60. So what happens when I add 4 on the inside? We go to the left 4 and add 3 on the outside. Up 3. So we're going to the left 4 and up 3. So A says right, that's wrong. C says 4 to the right, so that one's wrong. B says 4 left and 3 up. So my answer would be B. All right, 61. It says write a rule for G described by the transformation of the graph of F, and then identify the vertex. So we're starting with an x squared graph, and we just apply our transformations one at a time in the order that it says. So how would I show a vertical stretch by a factor of 2? So I'm multiplying the 2 to the outside. So it's 2 times the x squared. a reflection on the x-axis is also outside. So that would just be a -2. And followed by a translation 1 unit to the right. So right, we would have to subtract 1 on the inside. So that -2 stays on the outside, and it would be x minus 1 squared. So that would be answer choice A. For questions like these, use your answer choices to help you. It's not going to be C because -1 on the outside means that you're going down. So nothing here says down. D has 1/2, which we know is a shrink. So it's not going to be D. And then B doesn't have that negative, so there's no reflection, so it's not going to be B. So use your answer choices to help the process of elimination. 62, again, we want to use our answer choices to help us with the graph, but first we need to find our vertex. What would my vertex be here? 5, -4. Perfect. What we're adding on the inside, what we're adding on the outside, but you always change the sign of the H. So 5, -4, we can go ahead and cross out C, we can cross out D, and we can cross out B. So the only option we have left is A. We also, even though all of our graphs here open down, but we knew from the start our graph was going to open down because A is negative. So this tells us that the graph opens down. So usually just knowing that your graph opens up or down will help you eliminate answer choices too.